fam, welcome back to my channel. You guys already know who it is. It is Meghan Drexel. Today I have an amazing video for you guys. I put the Makeup Revolution Visionary palette against Anastasia's newest palette, the Norvina palette. So I can show you guys really quickly side by side how similar these two palettes are. Like, do you guys see that? Is that normal? Is that coincidence? Is it a conspiracy? Curious on who sweeps the W today? You guys can just go ahead and keep watching. Here we meet again. Okay, well, since my camera decided to play me, stopped recording, I went ahead and did my crease colors. So in my Anastasia palette, I used the shade Incense, which is this brown shade right here. It's more of an earthy taupey brown. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a true taupey color, but I will say that Incense went on much darker than I anticipated, and I was like, oh god. The reason I didn't go in with the shade Eccentric is because when I was looking at my Makeup Revolution palette, it actually doesn't have a warm tone along those lines, and nor does it have one of the darker taupier brown earthy colors like Incense. So I actually had to go in and create that more taupey earth brown color in my crease with my Makeup Revolution palette. So I actually ended up mixing this shade, and this shade right here, and that's as close as I got in the crease. This took a little bit more work than the Anastasia palette, but I will say that the Anastasia palette, I did have to blend out, and I had to take my time blending my crease because of the fact it is so much more darker than what it appears to be in the palette. So keep that in mind. Regardless, I'm pretty positive I'm gonna have to do a shimmer on the lid, and I think that shimmer is gonna have to be purple, even though I don't want it to be, because when I wear taupey colors or taupey purpley brown colors, I tend to look like I got punched in the face. So, okay, so for this eye, I'm gonna keep working on it, and I think I just want to keep working in that same shade range, and I'm gonna actually drop this color down onto the outer parts of my eyes. Now I'm taking Incense on my Morphe R39 brush. I'm going to zoom you guys back in because I feel like I want you guys to see up close and personal sort of what's happening. So give me a second. For this next eye, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this shade right here with my Morphe M514 brush, and I'm actually going to start buffing it on the outer corner. By the way, I did my foundation first today, you guys, because I know that you guys know my get down. And I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia palette, and I'm using the shade Volatile, and I'm using my tapered blending E209 brush from Urban Decay. I will say that the Makeup Revolution one is a little bit more rosy, more truly mauve-y. This is more taupey. Moving right along, we're gonna take this dark burgundy color, and I'm gonna still use my Morphe 514 brush, and I'm gonna start layering this right into the outer corner. So it is a very, very light wash of color. It's not like insanely pigmented. And I feel like that's typically the problem with Makeup Revolution's darker colors. So I'm going to try it with my finger to see if I can get it to stick. Let's try the Norvina palette, and I'm taking the color Passion, and I'm still taking my Urban Decay E209 brush. That definitely came out pretty damn similar. I'm gonna use my finger again. I think I was expecting a bit more color payoff from the Norvina palette, but I definitely didn't get that. Interesting. The whole top row of shimmers in the Norvina palette is just absolutely stunning. In the Makeup Revolution palette, there is not nearly as many shimmers. 4 very key colors here. Take this shade right here, and I'm taking my Michaels brush, and without spraying it, I'm gonna tap it onto my eye. It has a pretty decent amount of color payoff, except I feel like it kind of dusted away that darker color. Let's see if we can fix that and spray it. So far it's looking pretty legit, except for that outer corner that's giving us issues, but I'm sure it's going to be the same for both eyes. There is next to no fallout with this eyeshadow. Even when I didn't spray it, there was nearly no fallout. I most definitely am going to have to go in with that darker shade right there on the outer corner. Switching over to my Morphe 522 brush, and I'm gonna pick up some of that darker burgundy shade again. Definitely is not staying. I'm gonna try spraying it. I almost feel like this palette's canceled, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna keep going. Normally, if it was just like an everyday and I was comparing the two, I would have been wiped this side off, because I just don't have the patience to work with a color that just doesn't seem to want to stay. And I know it's not the primer, because I've primed my eyes with this many times before and I've never had this problem. So it's definitely the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go in with Celestial, which is that purpley shade right there. And like I did on the other eye, I'm not gonna wet it at first. Okay. So, Celestial from the Anastasia palette didn't even show up for work today. She called in sick. I'm gonna mix a little bit of the shade Drama, which is the dark purpley shade right here. Okay, so I definitely went in and darkened it up with Drama from the Anastasia palette. This eye is still a bit brighter. I think it would be wise to use the shimmer colors all over the eye, even over the darker corners, opposed to trying to just smoke it out all on its own, because we know on both eyes that outer corner color doesn't plan on working a full shift today. So they're taking the day off. We just sent them home and put some shimmer over. Do I like either eye? No. So I'm gonna take the frosty vanilla-y looking shade right here. Yes, it has gold in it. That's right up my alley. We're gonna spray that because we already know how these shimmers like to act a damn fool. Now I'm taking the shade Dreamer and packing it on the inner corner. So it's definitely more peachy, more chunky. I'm gonna have to definitely blend it out, but this is the shade Dreamer right here. And you guys can see how intensely different this is opposed to this. So we have another buy this, not that today, okay? We're doing 2-in-1 video. I know, mind blowing. I wanted to put Kat Von D's lash liner. This is an inner liquid eyeliner in Trooper Black. This retails for $20 at Sephora. And I'm using Maybelline's Master Precise Skinny eyeliner. It's a gel pencil, and this is in Defining Black. So I'm gonna use my drugstore pencil my drugstore side. So I'm just gonna tightline. And if you guys don't know what tightlining is, it's lining your upper lash line to fill in any gaps that may be there. Now what I'm looking for when I look for a tightline eyeliner is when it needs to be waterproof, which this one is, and I need it to be super black so it gets in between all my lashes and you can't see any of my lash line underneath my falsies or in between my eyelashes with mascara on it. And I don't want it to bleed into my bottom waterline or into the corner of my tear ducts. So it is, you can't apply too much pressure because it breaks. So this is a Kat Von D, what is this called again? Lash liner. And I did see people using this in their bottom lash line, and I'm pretty sure, you know, if it's used in your bottom waterline that you can use it in your upper waterline. So you guys can see the significant difference in applicators. That is super fine and meant to be in the waterline. I know this is too, but this can be a little overwhelming, especially if you're new to tightlining. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, so let's see. It is a bit more messy, as you guys can see, and it does tend to bleed a little bit. I'm gonna jump off camera. I'm gonna do my eyebrows, I'm gonna put on my lashes, I'm gonna do some mascara, I'm gonna try to smoke out and finish my bottom lash line. We'll see how that goes. And then I'll be right back to give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, so I'm back. I had to do my hair really quick. I had to have a snack because I was feeling a little hangry. Hello there, brow. I went ahead and I also put my brows on. Thank goodness, because I was looking a little crazy without them. Let's talk really quickly about both of these palettes. They're both canceled in 2018. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. Start first and give you guys my final thoughts on the Makeup Revolution palette. One thing that threw me off with this palette, which is what I'm wearing on my right eye, your guys' left. The one thing that threw me off about this palette is the fact that it doesn't have any warm transition colors. I do like the fact that it is beginner friendly. I like the fact that the colors in this palette, the softer colors, are very, very easily able to be like built up. The darker color, I am not here for it because I could not get it to stick. Where I wanted it to blend, it just literally fell off my eye. Granted, it did become very pretty smoked out along my waterline. The shimmers are really, really pretty. They're very subtle. They're more of like a satiny shimmer. They're not very glittery. Again, this palette's only $7. Now, let's talk about the evil stepsister. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I like the structure of this palette. I like that the bottom row is all mattes, and I like that the top row is all shimmer. My problem is typically I don't care for kickback, but I had a lot of kickback. I am a fan of subculture. Many aren't, and I know that subculture has a lot of kickback, but that doesn't bother me because the pigment behind the shadows and the color payoff that I get is immense. So the fact that these have kickback with little payoff kind of does not tickle my fancy. What's the opposite of tickling your fancy? Like, it pisses my fancy kind of off. So I don't get how these can swatch so beautifully yet have such little color payoff on the lid. Given if I was only using this palette and I was doing my makeup on a regular day, I wasn't reviewing it, and I got to the shimmers and the shimmer wasn't paying off, I literally would have closed it, put it back in its packaging, and took it right back to the store, because there's just no way that I'm gonna spend $42 plus tax, so probably like $45 on a palette that has these beautiful shimmers that don't show up on my eyes. Like, It's just not feasible. So with all that being said, I do feel like this is a toss-up between two palettes. I would probably lean towards the $7 Makeup Revolution palette opposed to the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and this is my reason why. Shimmers, this palette completely lost it for me when it got to the shimmers. The fact that I have to work so hard at making these shimmers show up, it's just not realistic to me. So with all that being said, this is today's winner. Let's talk about our eyeliner face off. This was Maybelline's New York Master Precise Skinny Eyeliner and Kat Von D's Lash Liner. Hands down, right off the bat, I knew who won this face off, and it was definitely my Maybelline New York Master Precise Skinny Pencil, and I will tell you guys why. There are no pros for the Kat Von D lash liner. I had no idea that this was the size of a Q-tip. I also want to point out that the formula of this, and moving it back and forth, I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is just one coat. And if you're telling me that's defining black, I'm gonna call you on your shit, because that's a lie. Like, it's a blatant lie, because this has dried to be like a very sheer black, and it still moves. Like, do you guys see how sheer that color is? In this product overall, I think it did next to nothing besides make a mess on my eye. So you guys already know that means that Maybelline's Master Precise Skinny Pencil is today's winner. Okay guys, so the drugstore totally swept that W today. I hope that you guys loved this video. If you guys really enjoy watching these buy this not those videos, and you guys want me to do more like this, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Do not leave here without subscribing to the Glam Fam. We would love to have you guys join the family. Don't forget to click those bell notifications. That way I can always slide into your inbox with some new content. And as always guys, I will catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.